David Beckham had always believed that the most unforgettable moments in life were the ones that came quietly, arriving without warning, slipping into the cracks of an ordinary day, rearranging everything you thought you knew. Yet for someone who had lived decades under stadium lights, surrounded by crowds roaring his name, it was strange, almost ironic, that the most unforgettable moment of his year would begin in a dark, narrow back alley behind a football stadium in Miami. He had arrived late. He hated arriving late. Traffic had been insane. Someone crashed into a barrier on I-95, police blocked 2 exits, and fans flooded the streets wearing pink Inter Miami shirts, carrying flags and chanting Messi's name long before kickoff. Beckham checked his watch for the millionth time as his driver slowed to a crawl. He sighed. Tonight was supposed to be simple. Slip into the stadium quietly, sit in his hidden owner's box for the first half, check on a few operational details, congratulate the players afterward, and leave without stirring up a storm of selfies and phones and shouting fans. He loved the fans, he genuinely did, but he also knew that whenever he stepped outside a car within a 2-mile radius of a stadium, chaos naturally followed. So he made a plan. A strange plan for a global superstar, but a necessary one. He wore a gray hoodie, a black cap pulled low. No watch, no jewelry, no Inter Miami logo. Just jeans, simple sneakers, a face mask, and the posture of a man who wanted absolutely no attention. He slipped out of the car at the far edge of the parking lot, waved off his security team for the moment, and walked quickly along the outer wall of the stadium toward a quiet maintenance gate he had used once before. The crowds were mostly gathered at the main entrances, bright and loud, leaving this side of the stadium in relative darkness. He was just 5 minutes from kickoff when he heard them. Footsteps. Voices. A security guard's flashlight beam sweeping dangerously close. "Damn," he whispered under his breath, lowering his head and walking faster. If the guard recognized him, he would be swarmed within seconds. Photos would leak online before he even reached his seat. He crossed a corner, aiming for the maintenance gate. That was when it happened. A small hand suddenly grabbed his wrist from behind. "Hey, sir, don't go that way." The voice was sharp, terrified, urgent. Before Beckham could even turn around, the hand tugged again, harder this time. "This way. Quick, please." He spun and looked down. A boy, maybe 12. Dark hair messy like he'd been running all day, cheeks smudged with dust, wearing a beaten-up oversized hoodie that hung loosely from his frail shoulders. He carried a battered wooden shoeshine box strapped across his torso. Scuffed, scratched, paint peeling, one hinge held together with tape. His sneakers looked a size too small, his jeans torn at the knee, and his breathing was fast, like he'd been sprinting, hiding, or both. The boy's eyes widened with panic. "Sir, I'm serious. If you go that way, the guard's gonna see you. You'll get caught for sure." Beckham blinked, confused. Caught for what? He wanted to say, "Kid, I'm literally part owner of this stadium." But before he managed a single word, the boy yanked him again, this time with surprising strength. "Come on, follow me now. Trust me." Beckham hesitated for a fraction of a second, and in that second he saw the flashlight beam sweep around the corner behind him. If the guard spotted him crouching here in a hoodie, there was a real chance they'd approach, ask questions, maybe cause a commotion. And the last thing he wanted was a scene. So he made a choice. A stupid one. A brilliant one. A life-changing one. He went with the boy. "All right," Beckham whispered, lowering his head. "Lead the way." The boy nodded fiercely and immediately crouched low, half running, half scurrying toward a narrow service passage between 2 massive concrete sections of the stadium. Beckham followed, copying the boy's hunched stance. The space was shockingly tight. Both of them had to angle their shoulders to fit through. Pipes ran overhead, the ground was uneven, and only a sliver of light came through the gaps in the concrete. "Stay low," the boy whispered, glancing back. "They hardly ever check this spot." "Who's they?" Beckham whispered back. "Security." "Who else?" the boy said matter-of-factly, as if it should have been obvious. So that's what this was. The boy thought Beckham was sneaking into the stadium. Without a ticket. That explained everything. Beckham nearly chuckled but held it in. The situation was so absurd it was almost brilliant. Instead of heading in like a club owner, he was now following a child, probably a truant ticket dodger, through a hidden passage like some undercover teenager. They moved quickly through the tight corridor, their footsteps echoing lightly. Beckham's heartbeat picked up, partly from the rush, partly from the ridiculousness of it all. He couldn't remember the last time he had snuck into anything. They reached a point where the passage narrowed dramatically into a small triangular gap in the stadium architecture. The boy dropped to his knees and crawled through first, pushing his shoeshine box ahead of him. "Your turn," he whispered. Beckham sighed softly, shook his head with a half-smile, and lowered himself to the ground. Dust coated his knees instantly, his hoodie brushed against rough concrete, and a faint smell of old rainwater lingered in the cramped space. He crawled through. And on the other side, the world changed. Sound exploded. Crowd noise roared like thunder. Stadium lights flickered in the distant opening ahead. The boy scrambled to his feet, then grabbed Beckham's wrist again. Faster. They switch guard positions right when the match starts. They darted forward, down a hidden incline beneath a staircase, slipped behind a row of supply carts, and finally emerged at a small service exit that opened into the underside of the stadium seating. Beckham recognized this area. It was rarely monitored because it led to a restricted maintenance path that didn't connect directly to seating. The boy stopped, breathing hard. "We made it," he whispered triumphantly. Beckham straightened slowly, adjusting his cap and lowering his mask again. "And where exactly are we?" he asked. The boy grinned proudly. "The best secret seat in the whole stadium." He pointed to a crooked metal doorway wedged between two concrete pillars. Inside was a narrow overlook, a cracked concrete ledge with just enough room for two people to sit shoulder to shoulder. The view was terrible, blocked by a massive support beam, but through the gap Beckham could see maybe a third of the pitch. The boy crawled in and sat down, patting the spot beside him. "Come on, mister. Kickoff's about to start." Beckham stepped inside. The space smelled like damp concrete and popcorn from a nearby food stall vent. But it was oddly cozy, almost like a hidden fort. The roar of the crowd vibrated through the walls. The boy hugged his shoeshine box to his chest and tilted his head, studying Beckham with curiosity. "You new at this?" he asked. "At this?" Beckham repeated, amused. "Yeah, sneaking in. I can tell. You walk too normal. People who sneak and have to look nervous. You know, like this." The boy demonstrated an exaggerated, suspicious sneaky walk. Beckham laughed out loud, quietly but genuinely. "No, I've never done this before," Beckham admitted. "I knew it," the boy said proudly. Beckham took a breath and looked out at the stadium lights. It was surreal. He had built this club, shaped its future, negotiated contracts, chosen coaches, fought through press scrutiny, yet here he sat, in a concrete crevice with a shoeshine boy as his guide. The boy extended his hand. "I'm Jaden." Beckham shook it. "Nice to meet you, Jaden." Jaden squinted at him suspiciously. "You talk kind of fancy. You from around here?" "No," Beckham said with a smile hidden behind the mask. "Not originally." "That's cool," Jaden said. "Lots of people come through here. Most don't talk to me." Beckham's eyebrows lowered slightly. "Why not?" "Well," Jaden shrugged. "I shine shoes for $1. People don't really see you when you shine their shoes. You're just there." The words hit Beckham harder than he expected. He glanced at the shoeshine box. Heavy one. The box of someone who had been working far longer than a 12-year-old should ever have to. "And your parents?" Beckham asked gently. "Don't have any," Jaden replied simply. "It's just me and my little sister. I take care of her." Beckham felt his chest tighten. "How old is she?" 7. "What about school?" "I go sometimes. Not always. Got work to do. Bills don't pay themselves." Beckham shifted, turning fully toward the boy now. "How long have you been coming to this stadium?" 3 years. Almost every home game. From this angle, you can see the goals if the ball comes this way. "And why here?" Beckham asked softly. Jaden looked at him as if the answer were obvious. "Because this is the closest I'll ever get to watching real soccer." Beckham's throat tightened. Jaden continued, eyes fixed on the patch of visible grass. "I listen to the fans, pretend I'm out there. Pretend my sister and me aren't hungry. Pretend we have a real life. For 90 minutes, everything feels normal." Beckham said nothing. He couldn't. His heart was too full. Jaden turned to him suddenly. "You ever see Messi play live?" Beckham nearly choked. "Well, yeah," he answered slowly. "For real?" Jaden's eyes widened. "Man, I would give anything to see him. He's like magic. But I know that'll never happen." "Why not?" Beckham asked. Jaden held up a $1 bill, crumpled, faded. "This is what I made today. $1. Maybe 2 if I get lucky." Beckham stared at that small, fragile bill, and felt something inside him shift. Deeply. Irreversibly. Something about Jaden, his honesty, his resilience, his innocence despite hardship, pulled on him. Harder than he expected. He stayed quiet for a long moment. Then slowly he said, "You know, sometimes impossible things happen. When you least expect it." Jaden snorted with a grin. "Yeah, sure. And maybe one day I'll be president." Beckham smiled behind the mask. The match kicked off. The crowd screamed. Stadium lights flooded their tiny hidden corner. Jaden leaned forward with uncontainable excitement. Beckham leaned back, watching the boy instead of the field. And in that moment, a billionaire club owner, disguised as a regular man, sitting with a shoeshine boy in a concrete tunnel, they formed the start of something no one could have predicted. Not Jaden, not Beckham, not even fate itself, but it was here, in this tiny, forgotten corner of a stadium, a moment that would change both their lives forever. David Beckham did not expect to return. He thought the night he followed Jaden through that hidden passage was a one-time accident, a strange twist of fate, a story he would laugh about someday with his children. Something so bizarre, so unlikely that surely it couldn't happen again. But here he was, 6 days later, standing in the same parking lot, wearing the same disguise, walking toward the same dimly lit side alley behind his own stadium. And he wasn't even pretending to himself why he was there. He wanted to see the boy again. He wanted to know more. He wanted to understand. He wanted to help, though he didn't yet know how or in what way. But mostly, he wanted to feel that strange sensation he had felt the first night. Not the thrill of sneaking, not the adrenaline. Something softer, warmer. Something he couldn't quite name yet. When he reached the corner of the stadium, he slowed. Would the boy be there again? Did he come every match? Was Beckham foolish to expect it? He crouched slightly and stepped into the narrow service path, and that was when he heard it. A familiar whisper. "Hey, you came back." Jaden emerged from the shadows the same way he had the first time, quick, light-footed, alert like a street cat. His shoeshine box hung from his shoulder, a cracked strap digging into his thin hoodie. His smile flashed before he hid it again under a more careful, guarded expression. I didn't know if you would," the boy said, rubbing the back of his neck. Beckham nodded softly. "I said I'd try." Jaden lifted an eyebrow. Most adults didn't try for him, promise or not. But he didn't say anything about that. Instead, he moved closer. "Same plan as last time?" the boy whispered. "We gotta be quick. The security rotation shifts in." 30 seconds? Beckham guessed. Jaden's eyes widened. "How do you know that?" Beckham smiled behind his mask. "Let's just say I've been around a few stadiums in my life." Jaden snorted out a laugh. "Okay, fancy guy. Let's go." Again, Beckham followed him, ducking low, slipping through the concrete wedge, crawling under a rusty beam, navigating the labyrinth of pipes and shadows. It amazed him how fluidly the boy moved, how he knew every gap and turn, how comfortable he seemed inside a space most fans would never even see. When they reached the hidden overlook, Jaden claimed his usual spot, sitting on the cracked ledge. Beckham sat beside him, knees bent awkwardly. The roar of the crowd hadn't begun yet, but the hum of anticipation hung in the air. Jaden nudged him with an elbow. "You know, for someone who's new at sneaking in, you're pretty good at it." Beckham chuckled. "I had a good teacher." Jaden beamed with pride, then lowered his gaze, pretending not to be affected. He hugged his shoeshine box to his chest, tapping it lightly with his fingers. "You work today?" Beckham asked, nodding toward the box. "Yeah. Not much business near the stadium, though. People don't care about clean shoes on game day." "You shine shoes anywhere else?" "Sometimes downtown. Sometimes outside the grocery store. And when school lets out, I try to catch teachers." "And your sister?" Beckham asked gently. "Where is she while you're working?" "With Mrs. Flores," Jaden said. "She lives in the building next to ours. She's old and yells at us sometimes, but she's nice deep down. She watches my sister for free if I help carry her groceries." Beckham took a slow breath. It was one thing to see poverty. It was another to see a child navigating it with the instincts of an adult. Jaden swung his legs and looked at the field through their narrow gap. "You ever wonder why I sneak in here?" he asked suddenly. Beckham turned his head. "I imagine it's because you love soccer." "That's part of it," Jaden admitted. "But it's more than that." He leaned back against the concrete wall. "I don't want to sneak in. Not really. I want to walk through the front gate. Show a real ticket. Sit in a real seat. Eat popcorn like the other kids." Beckham's chest tightened again. "So why don't you?" he asked softly, though he already knew the answer. Jaden pulled a crumpled envelope from his shoeshine box. He opened it, revealing a handful of bills, mostly ones, a couple of fives. "This is everything I saved the last 2 months," he said. $63. That's impressive, Beckham said with genuine admiration. Jaden shook his head. No, it's sad. Beckham waited quietly. I was trying to save for a ticket, the boy said. Just one. For me. But last week my sister got sick. Fever. Bad cough. I had to buy medicine. So, he flicked the edge of a $5 bill with his thumb. Back to zero. He shoved the envelope back into the box, his movements harsher now. I don't want to steal. I don't want to sneak. But I can't waste money on things I want. I have to buy stuff we need. He paused. Being a big brother means you don't get dreams. You only get responsibilities. Beckham felt that line hit him like a punch. Jaden's voice softened. I sneak in here because, for 90 minutes, I get to pretend I'm not poor. A long silence stretched between them. Beckham swallowed. Jaden, that's... But the boy cut him off. And before you say something like, you'll make it someday, or keep believing, please don't. I get that from teachers, and social workers, and random people who think poor kids need speeches. Beckham closed his mouth again. Jaden spoke without bitterness, only honesty. Hard-won honesty. Dreams are expensive, and I'm broke. Beckham exhaled slowly. But you can still love the game, he said softly. Oh, I do, Jaden replied immediately. That's why I come every week. Even if it's only this tiny view, even if I can't see half the pitch, even if people would laugh if they saw my seat. This, he pointed to the small angled window of field, is my whole world. The boy closed his eyes and let the distant chants wash over him. I watch Messi warm up. I study every movement. I try to copy it later on the concrete behind our apartment. My sister holds up her phone like a camera and yells, "Guhul," when I shoot. He smiled faintly. She laughs so hard. Even when she's hungry. Even when she's hungry. Beckham's hands tightened slowly on his knees. How often do you go hungry? He asked carefully. Jaden shrugged as if the question didn't matter. A few times a week. Sometimes more. But don't worry. I always make sure my sister eats first. Beckham's voice cracked a little. You shouldn't have to choose like that. That's life, Jaden said simply. He turned to Beckham then, studying him again with those sharp street-smart eyes. You never told me why you sneak in, Jaden said. You're older. You talk fancy. You look like you have money. Why you crawling through tight spaces with me? Beckham felt heat rise in his cheeks under the mask. I didn't want to cause a scene, he admitted. If people recognize me before a match, it gets chaotic. What? You famous or something? Jaden teased. Beckham coughed. A little. Jaden grinned mischievously. You a singer? No. Actor? No. Soccer player? Beckham paused. Jaden's jaw dropped. Wait, really? Beckham hesitated, long enough for Jaden to explode in excitement. You play pro? Dude, that's amazing. For which team? Are you good? Do you score goals? Oh man, I've never met a real player before. Retired? Beckham corrected gently. A long time ago. Jaden's eyes went wide. Hold up. Are you serious? He squinted again. No way. Are you? No, you can't be. Beckham froze. Did the boy recognize him? Jaden leaned in dramatically. You're probably some guy from the lowest division, huh? Beckham burst into laughter. Something like that. Wow, Jaden said impressed. You're sneaking in with such style. Man, if I was a player, I'd sneak in everywhere. Beckham smiled, relieved. The crowd suddenly erupted in a wave of cheers, vibrating the concrete around them. The match had begun. Messi had the ball near midfield. Jaden instantly leaned forward, eyes wide with focus. He's like a ghost, the boy whispered. He doesn't run. He floats. Beckham watched the boy more than the game. The way Jaden clutched his shoeshine box whenever he got excited. The way he leaned so far forward that Beckham had to gently pull him back by the hoodie once so he wouldn't fall off the ledge. The way his entire face changed, lighting up with pure childlike joy, the kind he rarely got to express outside this concrete tunnel. At halftime, Jaden turned unexpectedly serious again. Can I ask you something? Of course, David said. You think people like me can ever have a chance? Like a real one? Not the stupid fake hope adults give you. Beckham inhaled slowly. What kind of chance? Jaden bit his lip. To live a life where I don't have to sneak, or hide, or pretend everything's okay. Beckham looked out at the bright stadium lights. Yes, he said softly. I do. Yeah, but you don't know me. I know enough, Beckham said. You're tough. You're smart. You take care of your sister. You don't give up. That's more strength than most grown men have. Jaden swallowed, looking down at his battered sneakers. No one's ever said that to me. It's true. They sat in silence again, listening to the halftime show echo faintly through the structure. Then Jaden said something he hadn't said to anyone. You know, sometimes I wish someone would notice me. Just once. Not in a bad way. Not like teachers yelling at me to focus, or the building manager telling us we're late on rent. I wish someone would say, I matter. Beckham felt something twist inside him. You do matter, Jaden. The boy tried to smile but couldn't. His face tightened, fighting emotion. He sniffed once. Just once. Then he forced himself back into his usual, sturdy tone. Anyway, he said quickly, clearing his throat. Enough sad stuff. Second half starting. Beckham let him change the subject, but inside, his resolve was forming like molten steel cooling into shape. He didn't know how yet. He didn't know when. But he knew one thing with total certainty. He was going to change this boy's life. Not because he felt pity. Not because he was trying to be a hero. But because Jaden deserved a chance. A real one. A tangible one. One that wouldn't disappear the moment life got hard. By the time the match ended, Beckham had already made up his mind. He would return next week. And the week after. And the week after that. Not as David Beckham, the owner. Not as a celebrity. But as the man Jaden thought he was. A quiet, humble stranger who sneaked into a stadium through a crack in the concrete. When they parted ways that night, Jaden gave him a tiny wave. See you next week? Same place. Beckham smiled behind his mask. Same place. As he walked away, one thought echoed in his mind, stronger than the crowd, stronger than the chants, stronger than the rumble of the stadium. This is only the beginning. Beckham arrived earlier than usual that Saturday, leaning against a shaded corner of the stadium's outer wall, hat low, hoodie loose, blending into the flow of arriving fans. He kept glancing toward the small maintenance path where he and the boy had crossed weeks earlier. He wasn't sure why he was nervous. Maybe because he didn't know if the kid would come. Maybe because he still didn't know the boy's name. Or maybe because this strange, unexpected ritual had started to mean something to him. A few minutes passed. The noise of the crowd rolled like waves. Vendors shouted, music thundered from the gates, boots tapped the pavement. Still no sign of the kid. Beckham tried to convince himself he wasn't disappointed. He told himself the boy might have found something better to do. Or maybe his family needed him. Or maybe he had simply forgotten. Then he appeared, darting out from between two parked food carts like a shadow breaking free from the dark. The tiny figure slowed down only when he recognized Beckham leaning there, pretending not to wait. You're early today, Beckham said, trying to hide the smile tugging at his lips. I thought maybe you wouldn't come, the boy replied, looking embarrassed as he wiped dust from his worn jeans. His voice was small but honest. Beckham crouched slightly so they were eye level. Hey, I keep my promises. Ready for another match? The boy nodded, clutching his small shoeshine kit tightly. The straps were frayed, one buckle barely hanging on. The kid's fingers had fresh scrapes. Beckham noticed it all because he had been noticing more and more each week. They walked toward the narrow maintenance entrance again, careful, quiet, in sync without discussing it. They knew the drill now. Slip behind the vending machines, stay close to the wall, wait for the guard to turn. The boy led the way every time, quicker, lighter, more invisible than Beckham could ever hope to be. Beckham followed with amused admiration, this child navigating the stadium like it was his second home. Before slipping under the half-open service gate, Beckham whispered, "You sure you don't get caught doing this alone?" The boy shrugged. "I only come on weekends. Security doesn't care much. And well, I hide good." He smiled, but the smile carried survival more than mischief. Inside they found the same spot, an old maintenance stairwell with a narrow view of the pitch. Stadium lights washed the field in white gold. The players looked small from here, but the energy, the chance, the intensity, all of it reached them perfectly. The boy sat and hugged his knees, eyes shining. Every time the crowd roared, he jolted as if electricity ran through his body. Beckham watched him more than the match. The pure joy, the raw fascination, the hunger for the game, it reminded him of himself at that age. Before fame, before pressure, before everything became responsibility. After a few minutes, the boy quietly said, "Sir, can I tell you something? But please don't think I'm bad." Beckham shifted, giving him full attention. "You can tell me anything." The boy took a breath. I don't skip paying tickets because I want to. I know it's wrong. It's just, I have to save every dollar. Every single one." "For what?" Beckham asked gently. For home, the boy said, eyes fixed on the field. My little brother, he's only 5. He gets sick a lot, and my mom works late. So, I shine shoes downtown between school and home. I try to bring back enough money for food. I don't buy things for myself. I haven't bought anything in. I don't even know. He paused, swallowing hard. And soccer, he added faintly. I used to save to join a kids' team. I wanted to play real soccer. But that dream had to wait. Now I just watch from here. It's enough. Beckham felt something tighten in his chest. Not pity, respect. Admiration. The kind he felt when he saw people fight quietly without applause. You shouldn't be carrying all that alone, Beckham said. The boy shrugged again. It's life. Some kids get easy stuff. Some don't. He turned to Beckham with a small grin. But I get free soccer every weekend. That's something, right? Beckham laughed softly. Yeah, that's something. They watched in silence for a while. Then the boy asked almost shyly, Sir, can I ask, why do you always come alone? And why do you dress like, well, like someone hiding? Beckham felt a warmth of humor and vulnerability. Because if people recognize me, I ruin the whole stadium entrance. Security gets nervous, fans get loud, and nobody enjoys anything. So, sometimes I like being just another guy watching football. Nothing more. But you're not just another guy, the boy murmured. The words hit deeper than the kid meant them to. The rest of the match passed in a strange peace. 2 lives that shouldn't have crossed, watching a world of green and lights that felt like home to both. When the final whistle blew, the boy slowly stood, swinging his shoe-shine kit over his shoulder. Same time next week? He asked, trying to sound casual, but Beckham heard the hope under it. Beckham nodded. Same place, same sneaking around. The boy laughed, the sound echoing lightly through the empty stairwell. They slipped out the same way they entered, staying hidden behind crates and fences. At the edge of the maintenance path, Beckham paused. Hey, he said softly. What's your name? The boy hesitated, then whispered, Mason. Beckham repeated it in his mind, committing it to memory. See you next week, Mason. The boy nodded once, lit by the stadium glow, then disappeared into the night like he had never been there. But Beckham knew the truth, he would think about this kid long after tonight. And something inside him had already begun to change. Beckham arrived early that day, much earlier than he needed to. He stood by the narrow service path, hands in his pockets, watching workers push equipment carts, hearing the hum of the stadium waking up before a big match. The sun was sliding down, throwing streaks of orange across the concrete walls. He tried to ignore the restless feeling inside him, but it was pointless. Today wasn't like the others. Today he was going to change Mason's life in a way the boy didn't expect. He kept replaying their last conversation in his mind, Mason whispering about saving every dollar, about giving up soccer, about taking care of his brother. It hadn't left Beckham's thoughts since. He'd seen thousands of talented kids over the years, but very few with Mason's resilience. Not the kind of resilience born from training, but from surviving, from fighting quietly, from loving family more than dreams. Beckham knew exactly what that type of kid could become. He had once been one. When footsteps echoed down the path, Beckham straightened. Mason appeared with the same shoe-shine kit hanging from his shoulder, clothes slightly cleaner today, hair combed like he tried to look decent for someone he respected. The boy slowed when he saw Beckham, as if making sure he wasn't imagining him. You're early, Mason said, smiling. And you're on time, Beckham replied. Big game today. Mason nodded eagerly, but Beckham saw it, that flicker of hesitation, like something was weighing him down. What's wrong? Beckham asked. The boy looked around, making sure no one could hear. My mom, she said I shouldn't go around the city so much anymore. She's scared something might happen. She wants me home after work. He hesitated, then added, I'll still come today. But maybe this is the last time. Beckham felt the words hit him harder than expected. The maintenance stairwell suddenly seemed like too small a dream for a kid like this. Well, Beckham said quietly, then let's make today count. They slipped through the path like always, ducking under shadows, waiting for the guard to face the opposite direction, sliding through the half-open gate with the delicate timing of 2 partners in an impossible dance. Mason was sharper than ever, moving quickly, confidently. Beckham followed, smiling to himself. Mason had memorized every guard's rhythm. They reached the familiar stairwell. The stadium lights flooded the air with bright white beams. The anthem echoed. Fans roared. Tonight felt louder, brighter, bigger. Mason leaned forward, gripping the railing, eyes glowing. Beckham didn't look at the field. He looked at Mason. The excitement, the love, the hunger, It was the kind of passion that couldn't be taught. For a long while, they watched in silence. Then Mason murmured, "I'm going to miss this." Beckham swallowed. "You won't have to." Mason turned, confused. "What do you mean?" Beckham took a breath. He hadn't planned on being emotional, but the words carried weight. "Mason, you deserve to watch soccer without sneaking, without fear, without hiding in a stairwell. You deserve to be part of this." The boy looked down, unsure what to say. Beckham reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Simple, white, unmarked. He placed it gently into Mason's hands. "What's this?" the boy asked, blinking fast. "Open it," Beckham said. Mason tore it carefully. Inside he found a VIP match ticket, not for tonight but for the next month's worth of home games. His eyes widened. And a neatly folded Inter Miami fan kit, jersey, scarf, cap, all brand new. And then, something unbelievable. A jersey signed by Lionel Messi with a message written in black marker. "Para Mason nunca perde soñar. Messi." Mason froze. His jaw trembled. His eyes filled instantly. This can't be real," he whispered, voice breaking. "This must be a mistake." "No mistake," Beckham said softly. "But, Messi?" Mason's voice cracked. How did you even get this?" Beckham smiled gently. "I asked him." Mason looked up like someone had just told him the sky could be yours if you reached far enough. Why would you do this for me?" Beckham exhaled slowly. The moment he had been avoiding had arrived. "Mason," he began, "there's something I should have told you from the beginning. I didn't want to scare you away or make things different between us." He reached up and removed his cap, then his hood. The dim stairwell light fell fully on his face. Mason stared. His lips parted. His eyes grew wider. His breath caught. You're David Beckham," he whispered, as if afraid the name itself might break the world around him. Beckham nodded slowly. "Yes." Mason blinked rapidly, mind racing. The memories clicked together. His voice, his posture, his kindness, his quietness. The pieces aligned. "But you're the owner of Inter Miami." Mason stammered. "You're famous? You shouldn't be sneaking into stairwells with some kid." Beckham knelt so they were face to face. "I wasn't sneaking with some kid. I was spending time with Mason, the most passionate young fan I've met in years. Someone who reminded me what the game is supposed to feel like." The boy's breath shook. Tears slid down his cheeks. He wiped them quickly with the back of his sleeve, embarrassed. Beckham continued, "From now on, you don't need to hide. You're welcome at every match. As my guest. Any game you want, any weekend you want, you come straight through the front gates. I'll make sure your name is on the list." Mason stared at him, trembling, overwhelmed. But why me?" he whispered. "Because you never asked for anything," Beckham said. "You never complained. You worked hard. You sacrificed. And you still loved the game with all your heart. Kids like you are the reason people like me fell in love with soccer in the first place." Mason pressed the Messi jersey to his chest as if trying to keep the moment from floating away. "Thank you," he finally said, voice so small yet so full. "I'll never forget this. Ever." Beckham put a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "I don't want you to forget. I want you to grow from it. And someday, when you're older, stronger, and life gets better, I want you to remember how it felt when someone believed in you. And I want you to pass that on to someone else. Deal?" Mason nodded so hard his hair fell over his eyes. The final whistle echoed across the stadium. People cheered. Fireworks cracked in the distance. But for Beckham and Mason, the world had gone silent, narrowed down to one stairwell, one moment, one gift that changed everything. As they walked out of the stadium, not sneaking, not hiding, just walking, Beckham noticed something new about Mason. He walked taller. For the first time, the boy wasn't leading Beckham through the shadows. He was walking beside him, under the lights.